Well, streets across America flooded by the chanting crowds. You can see there, not letting up 2 days after the George Zimmerman verdict. The Atlanta protests were peaceful, but it's quite a different story in Los Angeles, where protesters just ripped through the streets. They were breaking windows, shutting down roads. There were even reports of people being attacked. Officers arrested. More than a dozen people were told. Well, that verdict is definitely resonating from living rooms to the streets, even into courtrooms. Sanford, Florida, is more than 1,000 miles away from Milwaukee, but lawyers there say the verdict is changing the way they're picking a jury for this man's murder trial. This is 76-year-old John Spooner. He's white, and his victim, 13-year-old Darius Simmons. Black young man. Spooner shot him dead because he thought the teen was a crook. Sounds familiar, right? Well, lawyers in this case are worried that the jury pool might have a hard time ignoring the similarities to the Zimmerman case.
Would you take us back then and tell us how the conversation in the jury room began to discuss the Zimmerman case?
All right, now opening statements start today. So we want to talk about how hard it will be for the Spooner jurors to actually put the Zimmerman verdict out of their minds, if indeed they can. Now, we'll get into the details about this case, very different from the Trayvon Martin situation. But considering the timing here, what do you think?
It's highly likely because the Pew Charitable Trust actually did an analysis on the impact of this case and how much people were paying attention to it. There was a huge divergence. This is the largest gap in the attention with which black and Hispanic people and white people paid attention to any particular trial. So it's highly likely they weren't paying that much attention to this. It may not affect the jury pool.
But I believe also the case that's also in Florida, this Jordan Davis case with the 4 kids in the car and a 17-year-old man shot by a 45-year-old white man, is right behind the Trayvon Martin decision, because this guy also said he feared for his life because of the loud music, and he shot a guy, a 17-year-old black kid, in the back seat who could not even run from the bullets because there was a childproof lock on the door. I mean, this is right along the same line like it's next up on the docket, and I think it's going to have a major impact because the guy's already said he's pleading not guilty because he feared for his life in Florida.
We are covering the Jordan Davis case as well. We've talked to his attorney, John Phillips, also Jordan Davis's mom and dad. They've been on the show, so we're on that as well. But back to this Milwaukee case, I mean, Vinny, let's be transparent here. And Jen, you could even weigh in. I mean, this wouldn't have even been on our radar if the George Zimmerman case wouldn't have gone international.
And what I heard in that clip, and it happens in other trials as well, you put all the potential jurors together in a room, and they may have, been great jurors before they all got together and started talking to each other.
Right.
And what are they going to talk to each other about? What's in the news and what everyone's talking about on television and radio and in the newspaper and on the smartphone. So that could be a problem.
As Kira said, I mean, the details are so different. It may not matter if they can't get the Zimmerman trial out of their mind, because this is just so different in some of the details.
But I think the lawyers may ask him what they think of the verdict during voir dire.
Oh, that's interesting.
Do you agree or disagree?
And just to give a little background, we're told opening statements have started. Just so you know what's going on, Simmons was actually shot right in front of his mother as he was taking out the trash, and the community was very vocal, and angry after the shooting. Take a listen.
Innocent children do not deserve to die.
And he got gunned down for something that he didn't do.
Some cases, justice is not enough, and this one.
Okay, but then Spooner says, look, this kid stole guns from me. He used to play pranks on me, left a pair of pliers on my porch saying, that's how I busted your window. I wanted to take care of business here. The cops weren't helping me.
Well,
there's no self-defense here, though.
Yeah. You need a threat. You need a threat. You can't be a vigilante. So we'll see. Let's see what the jury says, because you never know what the jury's going to say.
We'll be following it.